Welcome back to the PMdistilled lessons. In this video, let us try to understand, elicit and analyze requirements. We start the project with just a high-level scope description. Now it is time to collect detailed requirements. The tools and techniques we use for collecting requirements or elicit requirements from the relevant stakeholders are workshops, focus groups, brainstorming, surveys and questionnaires, observation, that is also known as job shadowing. That means we observe people, know how they are doing their work, so that we can understand the nature of work they are doing. Then prototyping and user stories in Agile. When we say workshops, uh, in Agile project, sometimes, very often I've seen this. The product owner may be coming from some other country. The person comes here, then sit with the development team, and they conduct story writing workshops. That means the product owner explain the functionality, and uh, the other members of the team, they develop user stories. So we call it as user story workshops. The advantage of this is the domain knowledge gets transferred to the development team. So before the product owner goes back to their respective place, we understand the knowledge, the tacit knowledge about the functionality that gets transferred to the uh, development team. And at the same time, the product owner, uh, very often that person could be slightly non-technical. Their strength could be in functionality. So they get a lot of inputs on the technical side from the development team. Plus, while we develop the stories itself, or while we detail the requirements itself, a lot of clarifications can happen. And it is a win-win situation between the product owner and the development team when we conduct story writing workshops. Then focus groups. Here we are talking about task forces or dedicated task forces to achieve certain things. Brainstorming, I think we explained this multiple times. The sole objective of brainstorming is to come out with as many ideas as possible, and there will be a moderator, and there will be some ground rules, and every person in the room will get opportunity to talk. So we go either clockwise or anti-clockwise, and the key thing here is the objective is to generate as many ideas as possible. But at the same time, validation of the ideas doesn't happen in while doing the brainstorming. I can build on some others' ideas, but there is no room to criticize somebody's ideas. Because the moment the validation happens, then the free flowing of ideas will not happen. And it is the role of the moderator to ensure that the ground rules are followed while conducting brainstorming. Then surveys and questionnaires, that is a great way to collect requirements. And observation, prototyping, we can always come out with prototypes, quick prototypes, demonstrate it to the stakeholders so that they can give more feedback about it. Then user stories, that is in Agile, because everything starts with a one-liner product backlog entries. With a one-liner entry in the product backlog, it is very difficult to explain things to the development team during the planning meeting. So we elaborate that one-line entries in the product backlog to user stories, which is a maybe one-page document which contains the a narration of the feature to be developed, and the acceptance criteria of for the feature to be developed. So these are the commonly used tools and techniques for elicit requirements, or collect requirements, or elaborate requirements. The output of elicit requirements is the raw requirements and stakeholder expectations. So we can document the raw requirements and stakeholder expectations. When we say raw requirements, it is not prioritized, it is not validated. It is just, we just collected the requirements, elicited the requirements. We have not validated it. Then the next step during elicit and analyze requirements is analysis of the requirements. Here, now we have to prioritize the requirements. So there are multiple ways to prioritize. One is definitely based on the business value. That means if you do this feature, what is the value it generates to the customer? What is the value it generates to the owner or slash customer? And how it is going to help the end users. So that is a key aspect of prioritizing requirements. Certain requirements, if you do early, that can give faster ROI, or the return on investment, to the client. So that is one criteria to prioritize requirements. Another criteria is the risk. Because some of the requirements could be very risky. We have only two choices: either ignore it, avoid it, or straight away bite the bullet, because it may generate a lot of business value. In such circumstances, we want to do the high risk items first. That means when I do a high risk item first, the even if it fails, the rework component will be lesser. For example, if you take an agile project, there are 10 iterations, and if I put all the high risk items in the first 2 3 iterations, even if it fails, the rework component is less. But if this high risk item is coming in the eighth iteration, and if it is really impacting the architecture itself, then the project can fail. So a smart way of prioritization, one of the parameters for prioritization is risk. High risk items we want to do first. Another one is a business value, high value items we want to do first. Then sometimes there could be urgency as well. Certain requirements, we must do it. It is very urgent. We must do it before a particular date. For example, if somebody is developing a website, and if it has a feature which is required for the year-end sales of the customer, it must be prioritized, because it cannot wait. It has to happen in the month of October, November, December, because the moment we slip the market window, then it is not required. It is not of much value, because then it can wait for another 1 year. So the urgency also matters. Then there is another way to look at requirements is the famous MOSCO. M stands for must have features, S stands for should have features, and C stands for could have features, and W stands for won't have feature. So this is another way to prioritize: must have, should have, could have, and won't have. Here, see, we should understand the concept of the minimum viable product as well. So the minimum viable product should have the must-have features, whereas could have, should have features can wait. But if the objective is to deliver a minimum viable product, then the must-have features must be prioritized. Then once the requirements are prioritized, Then we have to do the feasibility analysis. Requirements are fine, it is prioritized based on value and risk. Next step is feasibility. So we have to perform a technical feasibility. Is this feature viable technically? Then we have to look at the financial feasibility. That means what is the ROI from this feature? How much investment is required to build this particular feature? And if you build that particular feature, what is the additional revenue it can bring in, or what are the additional benefits it can bring in? So we have to do the technical feasibility, financial feasibility, and the third one is the operational feasibility, how easy it is to operate and maintain that particular feature. For some features, it may be technically wonderful, financially wonderful, but operationally, it could be very difficult. The maintenance cost can go up. So these parameters also we should consider. So prioritization, then feasibility analysis, technical, financial, operational. Then while analyzing requirements, the analyst or the project manager should have excellent conflict resolution uh, capabilities because there could be differing opinions from different stakeholders, especially high power stakeholders on should we have this feature or that feature, etc. Those conflicts could be there. Then we need excellent conflict resolution skills. The output of elicit and analyze requirements is a well-defined, structured requirements, and that is the basis for scope definition and design. So we start with a high-level scope in the charter. Then, before detailed planning, we have to elaborate those requirements. So for that, we have to elicit requirements from the relevant stakeholders. Then we get the for that we use workshops, tools and techniques like workshops, focus groups, brainstorming, surveys, questionnaires, observation slash job shadowing, prototyping, user stories for agile output raw requirements and stakeholder expectations. We can document these two. Then analyze requirements. We have to prioritize based on business value, risk, urgency, and Moscow is another thing. That is must have, should have, could have, and won't have. Then we analyze requirements. Second step is feasibility analysis. We have to do technical feasibility, financial feasibility, and operational feasibility. While doing all these, while doing the prioritization, there could be a lot of conflicts of interest. So we should have excellent skills to manage those conflicts professionally. Then, while analyzing requirements, another tool could be decompose the requirements. A high-level requirement can be decomposed further so that it becomes more manageable. And we have modeling techniques. For buildings, etc., we have this building information modeling is very popular now, and there are other modeling techniques as well. So when we create a model and demonstrate to the client, they'll be able to give additional requirements, or they'll be able to come out with problems much earlier. And especially with building information modeling, etc., that will result in better risk management upfront because we can do things like clash detection, etc., so that we get very refined requirements if you can do modeling. The output is the well-defined structured requirements, and that is the basis for scope and design. I hope you understood the process, elicit and analyze requirements. Thank you very much.